Today I will be making a cover for my sewing machine. I keep the sewing machine always out, so I need a cover for this so that it doesn't get dirt inside it. I had a cover for this, but it was a very thin material and it didn't work at all, so I removed it. I want to make, but I also want to reuse big sweatshirt which my husband stopped using. This sweatshirt I folded where my widest part of sweatshirt was. So I think it is from one underarm to another underarm, and then I just took it to my sewing machine and I'm laying it like this, and it fits perfectly. So if uh, it covers, so basically what you have to do is you have to try to cover from center of this to center of this side, so that the front side covers this portion and the back side will cover center side from this to back. So that's the idea. So what to get a quick estimation, I did like this, and I think it is sufficient for me to go ahead, and even if it doesn't fit, I see there might be a centimeter off in the front panel. It's fine. I can just extend the back side and see if it fits completely. So I will just make one square for front, one square for back. I want to cover the entire thing. I don't want to have just a piece of cloth covering with a bow, which a lot of people make. It's fine, it works. But I want to completely cover the sewing machine. So I will make one square for front, one square for back, combine them together, and on the top, when I'm combining, I want to leave a space for this handle. How I leave that space, I will explain. But again, this is something which I'm doing on my own, so I will do some experiments, see if it works, and then finally I'll explain or I'll show what I am doing as the last option. And then so I'll join these, make leave space for the handle. I will also so if you just join two squares, like if you join two squares like this and you put it on anything, there will be a corner sticking out. So what I want to do is, after I have connected these two panels, I want to make a square shape here so that my cover completely covers the sewing machine and also has a nice edge. To start the first step, which I will do, again, I'm no expert, I'm just doing what I think might work. So the first step I'll do is I'll take the measurement of my sewing machine. So this would be your personal machine if you are trying to follow my tutorial. So what I want to do is I want to take the height of my sewing machine, but I want to start from the center point of my machine. So where the handle is. So if you look at top of your machine, probably your the point where you fill your bobbin, it's in the center. So, or the handle could be a good reference. You can just eyeball it also. So I'm going to take my measurement of this height, and this is, for me, it's around little shy of 32 centimeters. So I'm going to make it 34 centimeters. So this is what my height would be, 34 centimeters. Now this would be the height of the panel. Now about what width you want to take. Ideally, you can take from center of the machine till the center of this side. But what I will do is, I will just take a circumference of my machine. So this is how I'm going to take it. I'll remove this connector because I don't need it now. I'll take the circumference of the machine, and the circumference is everything okay. Just check if it's not twisted anywhere, it's all straight. It's around 102, so it is 102 centimeters. This is not the width, this is the circumference. So your width would be half of this. So for me it's 102 centimeters, so half would be 51 centimeters. So this is circumference, and then width for the panel should be 51 centimeters. This is not the width of the panel, but this is what I want as the ready width. So I think I am done with whatever measurement. I will take one more measurement, but this I will come back when I am sewing the panels together. But just for my knowledge, what I will do is, where is my handle of the machine starting and where it is ending from one side. So I see it is around 9 centimeters, so I will draw a diagram. So 9 centimeters, my handle is 15 centimeters, and then this side should ideally be 9 centimeters. It's not 9, but let's say it's around 10 centimeters. So this is what my handle looks like. Now I want, but I'll worry about these measurements when I'm sewing the panel. But first I need only the height and width of my sewing machine. So my height is 34 centimeters and my width is 51 centimeters. So this is closure look of what I'm making. So like I said, I have 9 centimeters, 15 centimeters of handle, and then I have 10 centimeters. To make our life easy, we can make it in center also. But for now, I need 2 panels, and I'll just draw what I'm talking about. We need 2 panels, same size. So the idea is you will have 2 panels. The height of this panel will be 34 centimeters, because this is what I want my ready height of the cover, plus let's put it here. So my height would be 34 centimeters. Everything is in centimeters. 34 centimeters, plus I want to double fold at the bottom of the cover. So I will be making around 1 inch fold. So it would be centimeters. So 2 centimeters will go in the fold, and on top also I will be making double fold. Generally, when you join 2 fabric together, you don't take double of the sewing allowance. But in this case, I will be taking it, because when I combine these panels together to leave a space, for this portion I would need double folding, else it would be on a single fold. And sorry, wrong description. So generally we take double fold for hemming. So this portion we don't need the double one, because this is going to be sewn together. It could be inside, so it's not a problem. But in this section, because I'm going to leave it blank, I will have to double fold this panel, double fold this panel, so that there is a space here for my handle. That is why I have to add double folding it on at top also. So for this I'll add double folding of 2. Now everything comes out to be, and this would be then 38 centimeters I want to cut the panel. For your width, I need 51 centimeters. So width, I need, again everything is in centimeters, I need 51 centimeters ready ready width, but I want to have ease built into the cover, because if I don't have the ease, it will be difficult to put it on the sewing machine, or if you stretch, it would create the stress on the seam. So I want to have at least 1 centimeter on every side. So 4, so I'll have 4 centimeters of ease, and then my sewing allowance is 1 centimeter on each side. So again 1 centimeter this side, 1 centimeter this side, so I will have 2 centimeters. Now this comes out to be 657 centimeters. So this would be my panel calculation. So this would be my panel calculation. Now I will look at my short which I'm using to repurpose and see how from where I can remove that panel cleanly, so that I'm avoiding all the pains and the if I have any defect in my t-shirt. I have only paint, but you can see, if you're repurposing, see how you want to avoid the defects. So I think this is it in terms of calculation. Now I'll cut the shirt, and how I'm putting them together I'll explain after I have cut them. Okay, so I was cutting the front panel with the front side of the t-shirt, and I realized that the panel was the back portion of the quilt. So as I mentioned, this is quilted. So yeah, so the quilting was not done with all 3 layers. So if you see, the top layer here and the batting, only that is quilted. So now what I'm thinking, and the bottom layer is completely coming apart. So now but yes, I want to keep the bottom layer. So what I'm thinking, instead of doing the embroidery in the center like I mentioned before, because I can do that, that's not a problem if I do that, but yeah, so if I do that, it will only catch all the layers in the center. So what I'm thinking is, I'll do a hand embroidery. I will do a, I will follow the quilting line. So this line, it has a diamond shapes, so I'll follow that, and I'll use I'll make either a running stitch with my hand or a chain stitch. I think running stitch might look cool. I'll see what I do, but I'll have to do that, otherwise this will keep on coming apart. So I'll do that, and yeah, now I'll cut the back portion, and I just made a basting stitch around this front portion. Yeah, so now because it will make sure that they stick together, and then it'll be better for me to embroider on it. Now what I want to do, as you know, this piece was little smaller for me because I didn't have enough quilted portion in the front of sweatshirt. So I've cut these panels which I'm going to attach with it, so that I get one longer panel. Embroidery and see how it looks. I'm just making simple running stitch. So I have this cotton thread. I think it is used for crocheting. I got this from a thrift store. It was a new skein of yarn. It's very thin. I'm not going to be using it for crocheting, so I thought maybe I'll use it as a contrast color on this, but it's taking a lot of time. I tried doing what do you call it, chain stitch. I tried doing chain stitch, but it was time consuming, plus as I mentioned in yesterday, that this I need to make sure whatever embroidery I'm using, it has to catch all layers of my quilted area, and it's very difficult to do embroidery with this thick material. At least I'm not able to do it. It's taking too much of effort. So I thought, okay, let's do a simple running stitch, running stitch across all the lines in the quilted portion of this fabric and see how it looks. And if I don't like it, it's very easy to rip apart. But yeah, so let's get started and sew the pieces together and see how it works out. So to start, this is my front panel, this is my back panel. I will attach them height-wise. Height-wise, yeah. So this part of the seam I will do first, and then of course the other side, and the top stitch, the stitch which goes across the sewing machine, I'm going to do a basting stitch to start with, because I want to open a space for handle. So I'll do a basting stitch. Basting stitch is nothing but whatever is the longest stitch your sewing machine supports. I sometimes do with hand, but it's up to you. I'll use my sewing machine. My sewing machine gives the highest stitch size is 4, so I'm going to make it 4. Do a basting stitch, attach both the sides, and then I'll come back and show how I'm making handle. Okay, so now I'm ready to make space for. So instead of basting, I just put my pins across the top edge, so that I don't have to make a basting stitch and rip it apart. So I just thought about it. Let's see how it works. Now I'll take a quick measurement of my handle, as in what is the space I want to leave for my handle. So the space is around 16 centimeters. So what I will do is I'll leave around 17 centimeters, so that it has enough space. So for that, I'll find the center of my top edge. I'll mark it. So you mark the top edge. Now I'm going to mark half of my handle width. So 17 half would be 8.5. Yeah, so it will be 8.5. So what I will do is I'll take my measuring tape and I'll put 8.5 in the center of my marking. So 8 point, let me get you. Yeah. So I'm keeping my, this is 8.5 for me. So this I will keep at the mark I have just made, and then I will mark at the beginning of the tape, which would be one end of the space for handle, and the next mark I will make at 17. um, it's a cover, so we don't have to be very precise about it, and if it's off here and there, it's fine. But I to begin with, I want to be very precise. So this is my 17 centimeters. This is my first and this is the middle. Now I don't need the middle one, and I will extend my end points. Now what I have to do is I have to sew from one end of, so I have to sew from one end till this point. I will do back stitch here so that it is a little bit stronger. Then I will start from here till here, or here to here, it doesn't matter. So basically I have to close this space and this space. After I'm done closing this space, I'll come back, and then we will make a double fold to make it as a nicer top. So yeah, let's do it, and then I'll get back with the next steps. Okay, so I mentioned that you have to stop at the beginning of your whatever marking you have made, but what I did, I completely attached it. It happens, and it happens with me a lot. So I did attach it, but then I had to pick all my stitches from yeah, for this particular block. Now one thing I want to mention is, because I'm reusing a fabric which is old, it's not a new fabric, so we should not be putting a lot of stress on it. So maybe it's a lesson for me to be a little bit careful if you're reusing a fabric, because if I show you, I'm not sure if it's catching up with the camera, but the one which has quilt, it is fine, but the one which doesn't have a quilt, it is the back side of the project, that is, I think it's getting stressed out with my needle marks. So I have to be a little careful. Now when I was trying, so now to make the gap, so if you see, this is the gap I have for the handles, for the handle. Now I'll first iron it, of course, by folding the seam allowance inside. But I just wanted to explain how I'm going to make this opening cleaner. So if you look at this, I'm going to press it like so, like this first, and then basically whatever is seam allowance, you press it inside, and then I'll make a double fold. I'll make a fold of this seam allowance and just push it inside. If I do this, then you will have a nice opening for your handle. So both seam allowance needs to be folded twice, once, twice, and then same for once and twice, and then we will sew from one end to another. And once we complete both the side of seam allowance, I'm going to come back and make a square around my opening. I'll stitch from one end of the opening till the last end, and then come back from the other side and make a square. I'm going to make it with my sewing machine, but after doing my embroidery, if I still have some energy, my idea is that I will make a edge with the same color, but let's see how it works out. For now, I'm going to focus. I have around 10 minutes to spend on the project, so I'll quickly iron the seam allowance out, folding it together, and then I'll make a stitch around. Completed the embroidery on this, and my gap for the handle is also done because it is a quilted. So initially my idea was that I will do a running stitch in all the quilted or all these lines, which was already there, but because it's a quilted portion, it's very difficult to do the embroidery. At least it was for me to work this up. So I thought, okay, I'll just do one directional embroidery, and I liked the way it looked also. That's also one of the criterias. So yeah, that's one change I did. The handle portion is done. Now I think it's almost done. What I have to do is I have to just close this edge, as in I have to double fold this and finish it off and make a corner for this. Now how I make corners, yeah, it has a corner. How I box this corner would be, typically what I do is I will take this corner, I will fold it in such a way that your horizontal and the vertical seam is matching. Then you get a corner like this. So I'll show again. So if you see, I have this center seam. There is a center seam here, which is my lengthwise seam. and I also have a seam which is running on top of the cover. Now I have to, from the wrong side, I have to make sure I grab the corner like so. My top of the cover stitch and my lengthwise stitch is matching. Now I'll make a nice crisp corner. So now this is how I have to make sure my stitch lines are matching so that they are aligned and equal. Now I have this corner. I have this corner. First of all, I'll just to make sure, I'll quickly check if everything is aligned and my seam lines are together, and then just to keep it together, I will use my pins and just to keep it together. This has no measurement or anything. Now what I will do is I keep it down. I'll again do a quick check. Yes, my seams are aligned. Now what I will do is, let me see if you're able to see. No, so I'll okay, I think now it's visible. So this is my corner. What I will do is, with my measuring tape, I'll quickly check what is the width of my sewing machine. I have done it before also, but I'll just want to make sure. I'll just cross verify. I want a 12 centimeters corner. 12 centimeters, the mid of 12 centimeter is 6, so I'll keep 6 on the corner. I'll keep 6 on the corner, and I have to make sure that my 12 centimeters is covering from one end to another. So basically the seam where it is matching, it should be the middle of your measurement, and then you adjust it in such a way that you get this line as 12. So my sewing cover is completely done. I'm happy with how it looks. I think doing one line of embroidery was a good idea because it's not too overwhelming, and it is also a nice change from the sweatshirt I'm using. So, and I'm glad that I used the white cotton thread. It has a good contrast. I like it. It has a space to, so that I can, if I want to carry my sewing machine, I can I can carry it with a handle, and it has a nice space for it. I had to do a hand the blind hem for this portion of the cover because it was too thick, so I had to use hand sewing, which is fine. It was like, it took me 30 seconds to do. I think 30 seconds to 1 minute to do. It was very quick. I'm happy. I didn't cut the corners yet. I don't plan to, because I want to use it for a few days and then I will cut the corners. But from every other thing, I just have to cut it. Nothing else is pending. So I'm happy with the result. In terms of cost, I reused the sweatshirt, so the cost was 0. I used my sewing machine. I used my thread from my stash. I used the needles from my stash. So I think the cost would be 0 for this, for me. This thread, the white thread which I used here, I bought it from a thrift store. I bought it without any purpose. So I think because I'm using it for the first time in this project, I would add that cost here. So the total cost for this entire project was 50 cents, because this yarn which I bought was 50 cents. So for 50 cents, I think this cover is beautiful. I like it. I generally don't add my effort in the projects because I am not doing it professionally. It's a hobby for me, so I don't count it as a productive hours. So that's why I don't add it. In future, if that changes, I'll add it. But for now, yeah. So this was the cost breakup. If you liked this flipping of the existing sweatshirt or making a sewing cup, because I think this technique can be used even if you want to use your new fabric, existing fabric, or a t-shirt or a sweatshirt, anything which can give you two rectangular panels. This would work. So anyways, with that I'll close. If you liked it, please like it, subscribe, and if you have any comments for me, please comment below, and if you have any suggestion for improvements or anything at all, please comment below. Thank you.